Error.
Hello.
Okay.
We don't want to get, we don't want to get like kicked off.
We haven't even touched what we want to touch on first tonight because Reese is driving until about probably an hour from now. I wasn't even sure what the name of this one, so I just kind of put some stuff on there. Stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just make it up. That's all that
Comics.
matters.
I put comics, video games, and everywhere else. Anyway, how was your week, Rico? How's Monday? How's Tuesday going?
Oh, not too bad, man. Not too bad. It's I've spent like the last 7 days, pretty much 7 work days, just like shadowing all the different stations here and stuff like that. So I guess.
So you guys build like tract housing, that kind of modular home building kind of thing, or what?
Yeah, so we built like modular HUD and something called park models. We also build like duplexes and things like that. It's like it's the company itself is like really like versatile and very. There's certain sites like the ones in like Ohio and Michigan that they specialize in like commercial property. But it's really fascinating. How everything is put together. It's just basically like modular home setups for the most part, and just like the efficiency that they get out of the workers and everything is just fantastic. So I'm basically learning the process right now, and that's actually helping me a great deal because I have to come up with the blueprints before long.
Right. That's cool, man. That's good.
Yeah. And so they were introducing me to the version of CAD, and you know what it reminds me a lot of?
What's that?
What?
It reminds me a lot of Photoshop. Yeah. So there's like
That's convenient.
big man upstairs. I guess there's a reason why I was learning Photoshop all this time.
Right.
It's like, oh, just
I thought it was just for making awesome comics.
that too. No, but it's just like I don't know. I don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah.
It's just kind of cool, that the general concepts, that they have like on this version of CAD, or you can like directly, relate them to what I was doing like in Photoshop in terms of like layers and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how are you guys, man? How was the con?
Yeah.
It was okay. It was okay. Yeah. I mean, it was their first year, right? And they kind of threw it together in like 3 weeks or a month or something like that. The story was pretty funny. I was asking the one of the organizers, I said, how'd you get involved in something like this? And I think she works for the Chamber of Commerce there, but she's one of those con gals, right?
Uh-huh.
And who's just like been to a bunch of them and digs out a whole scene. Well, her boss, I think it's her boss anyway. I might be wrong about that, but the way she talked about it made me think boss-employee kind of relationship.
Gotcha.
Anyhow, was the other co-organizer and was wanting to do some sort of activity or event to commemorate the moon landing, because it's like today is like the 50th anniversary of the launch or whatever, right?
Right.
So they're wanting to do some sort of shindig relating to that whole thing. And with that, they had they had this idea for trying to pull together some kind of an event or whatever. And so the boss looks across the room and says, "Hey, you do that Comic-Con thing, right?" And the gal says, "Yeah." And they say, "So, do you think you can do that here?" Maybe. What would that take? What would that take? Well, we need to have a space and some money to pay people to do stuff, and they're like, okay, cool. So I'll write some grants.
Wow.
They wrote a grant to the Wyoming Humanities. And they wrote a grant to the county tourism, and like threw a bunch of money, threw a bunch of stuff together. It got like a budget of like $2,000. And to put it together, they hired a guy to be a keynote speaker, and this guy was He's actually local up in Wyoming. He teaches science at one of the high schools somewhere around there. But he had worked for NASA for a while and done like a bunch of the astronaut training and certifications. And my understanding was that he wasn't an astronaut, that he was actually trained as an educator to go and tell people about what it takes to be an astronaut and what kind of science you should come to it with and that kind of like educational outreach. But in order to qualify to do it, you had to actually go through the training.
Oh,
and so like one of the displays was all of his like training certificates and the little badges and his cadet uniform and all that kind of stuff. And he did a presentation about it and talked about the moon landing and talked about NASA as a whole. And I didn't watch that. I was finishing up some stuff at the table, but yeah. So they know some cosplayers who've gone down to the Colorado scene or whatever that are there for local. And so they reached out to them and said, "Do you guys want to do a presentation on cosplay at our thing?" And they're like, "Yes." And and Blaine found out about it somehow and told us about it. And so when I got a hold of them and I said, "Hey, we make comics," and they're like, "Oh, please come sell comics." And we were the only people selling comics at the con, which was cool. We ended up selling almost about one of everything. So
well, cool.
That comes to about $20.
Hey, it's something, it's getting the name out there, and getting, the first thing, right? First time for those people. So it's pretty cool either way.
Yeah. I was pretty pleased with it. And plus we got to talk about the mini con to folks. Now, Bran had talked about coming up, but I guess he wasn't able to swing it or whatever because I was the only one. But I didn't have any mini con stuff to hand out anyway, so I just ran out of time to do everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was honestly, it was pretty short notice on everything.
It was. It really was.
Next year, be a good time.
Yeah, and they are planning on doing it again next year. They said they had about 100 people, so which was about a third of the people they had prepared for, but I think about what they were expecting. So the area they had it's in this old store that's been converted into office space that has a really like a big common area right in the middle of it. And it's like a quarter block downtown, all inside there in Torrington. They call it 21st and Main.
Well, for Torrington, Wyoming, those numbers aren't bad.
No, they are not. They are not at all. And especially, I've invited them to come have a table at our convention. And I said, we're still figuring out programming and everything. But if you guys are interested, maybe what we'll do is we'll have like a plan conveners, a panel. And we could talk about, how we started, get into the grit of what it takes to run a convention and, why we got involved in it. Maybe we can each get some volunteers to help next year's, easier or whatever.
Right.
Doing something like that, and some little kid in the audience will be like, "This is what I belong." Who knows? So, and they're like, "Oh, that sounds really interesting. I might be interested in that." So that's the story of the scope, the dream, the hope, all of that stuff there. It was fun.
That's good. Again, it was just kind of crazy over here. It's like the week was pretty exhausting to say the least. You kind of go from sitting and kind of running a gas station to like, moving around and being kind of mobile in a construction.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Well, and one of the things I think the most interesting is that your brain's always working at a job like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whereas like I know working like retail. You can zone out for a while in between stuff, and it's time to pay attention again because a bell will ring or someone will show up and be like, "How's it going?"
Yeah. No, you're not wrong because I definitely went on autopilot, more than a few times while working there. But there's probably, other than proximity from everybody in Scotts Bluff, there's one thing I do miss about that job, and that's the ability to draw while I'm zoning out there.
Yep.
It's like not a whole lot of time to do that here. But I'm hoping we're hoping we're going to get some answers Friday. Because actually Sam has a couple of job interviews out here.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, and some pretty decent job interviews. So we're hoping that goes well, and if it does go well, then we have to first decide which town we're going to live in, and then I don't think it'll take too long to actually find a place to live. And time to move in the drawing table, time to what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say you're going to have to do what my pal Matt Johnson does, and draw on his lunch break.
Yeah, I've been trying to a little bit. I mean, it's like
he lives far enough away from his workplace. I mean, it's within biking distance, he said, but it's far enough where coming home for lunch doesn't make sense. Right, so he brings a sack lunch and sits down in the break room and draws out at 5 strips. That's his drawing time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm considering it, at this point, because like I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed there's like nothing coming out from the warehouse site, and it's like there's a reason for that, just trying to, focus on work and get it all figured out. But I get the feeling though that I'll end up eventually getting more time, because like right here, basically the room that I'm staying in, I have a bed, I have a dresser, and it's like not the most congenial place in the world to draw. What I mean?
Oh yeah.
But like I said, that'll change, and we're hoping by Friday, we'll know a lot more answers. That I can kind of aggressively look for a place to live once we actually know what it's going to be. I'm personally hoping it's here, but it could end up being. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Aurora.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've driven past anyway.
Yeah. Most people have driven past, but it could be there too, which is actually kind of nice because, that possibility would be nice because it's like 25 minutes closer to Scottsbluff. Yeah.
A whole 25 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, but it would mean a 25-minute commute to work, but I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah.
But 25 minutes is something,
Yeah. No, for sure.
So what you working on over there, Barry?
I have been posting this to the Facebook, and I was working on cleaning up some pictures. I was working on. I've been working on the game stuff quite a bit. And yeah, I'll be finished hopefully tonight with the redo of page 7. I think it was.
Right.
Oh, speaking of which, have you guys heard anything about the you guys haven't seen like that pad, have you?
Drawing pad?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't. Barry?
Okay.
You know what? I completely forgot to check. Let me check real quick. 1 second.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna get some power. Because I think my laptop's on.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead and do that.
Well, I'm going to assume that we're live here then, and I'm just going to keep talking because that's super interesting.
Oh, I'll be back.
So yeah, so I have been working the last couple of days. I went over to see Rolf over the weekend, and we brainstormed a bunch of ideas for Chad and his the Lincoln chapter of his life as an apprentice superhero. And I've got some fun stuff in the works for that at some point. Yeah, I don't really have a good title for the book is the only thing. And today I said something and I cracked myself up about it. I don't know if it's a good title though. And it was Chad Little, the Tinker of Lincoln.
Chad Little, the Tinker of Lincoln.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a ring to it. It sounds like a fairy tale. But
yeah, kind of. It does kind of.
But I'm not sure that works for a comic book title. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. What do you think about that one, Barry?
What's that?
Chad Little, the Tinker of Lincoln.
And that's for. I'm sorry, I missed everything. So that's for what? That's for what? I was in the other room.
Okay, so yeah, that's cool. So Chad, of course, I said what I was talking about was that Rolf and I were talking about and working on laying out Chad's career as an apprentice superhero in Lincoln, Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
After he graduates high school, he moves to Lincoln, and he's an apprentice hero there. And so I said it today, and I don't know that it's a good title, but it's got a ring to it, and it's Chad Little, Tinker of Lincoln.
Crickets.
Yeah. See,
I love it completely.
Yeah. So it's no good. Okay.
No.
No.
I was typing.
Okay.
No, I love it. That's really good. That's really good.
Okay.
It's simple. It's to the point. It's direct.
Yeah. And part of the thing is the tone we want to go for the stories. We want to leave it really all ages we've talked about, right? So that's one thing I've talked about too is there's the newlywed stuff between Chad and Helena, but I want to keep that real friendly, kind of like a 1960s Aquaman with Aquaman and Mira, right? And there was this fun romantic. It wasn't really a tension, but there was this partner aspect to their relationship that you're grown up and you can read, and there's definitely that the subtextual sexual aspect to it, but it's not in your face. It's not like you're like, oh man, they're going to the next room to do it.
Kind of like Mal and what's her name from Serenity.
Yeah, kind of like that. Except that was more of the sexual tension aspect of it.
A little bit.
With this one, it's more of a with Aquaman and Mira. It's more that they're just a great couple, right? So Aquaman is good when he's on his own, but when the two of them are together, it's like they're like a machine, And as long as except when one of them's mad at the other, that they played with that sometimes too, but. That they're just a great team, and so that there's a tenderness to that, and there's a tenderness into their advocacy. So it's
you are breaking up something fierce there.
The situation. It's
Matt, you're breaking up, bud.
Am I cutting out?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
I like it. It sounds good.
Okay.
Rico, I did find your.
I'm on the highway north now, so there's a couple of dead zones.
Question for Barry.
Yeah.
Was there a drawing in it? That's the one I'm looking for.
Which drawing was it supposed to be?
It would be the unfinished page 10 or 11, which has the expositioner crouching, looking at the floor.
I will be right back. Because there were pages. Because there was pages on top of it. So let me go see if one of those pages happen to be that.
Okay.
I don't see anything in it, but this, I don't have two of these because I already finished my old one. So I only have one, and then I have a second one. So this one's obviously yours.
Okay.
So let me be right back and Reese can continue talking.
I'm gonna be really pissed if I lost it.
Yeah, that would suck because that page is hard.
Yeah, I searched high and low before moving, and just could not find it. So I don't know if I left it somewhere. I don't know if, it's just buried underneath some stuff or whatever. I can get another pad. That's no big deal. There's a Hobby Lobby in Grand Island, and they probably have
right.
But it's just I would really hate to have to do a redraw on that one, but I will if necessary.
So one of the fun things that's been in plotting these stories, I came up with a bunch of story ideas with Rolf the other day when I went to visit him. But one of the really fun things to realize is that in the time frame when Chad moves to Lincoln, Courtland from Matt Johnson's comic, we already have incorporated into our universe, and he's still around for the first part of Chad's time in Lincoln before that story ends. So there's there's subtle places to cross those stories over again that that Matt and I were talking about, and it's going to be we're going to have some real fun with that. So some of his supervillains I'm going to borrow to face off against Chad, and we're going to have, it's going to be fun.
Nice.
So that's gonna they're one of the big villains that Courtland faces in his comic is a cyborg named Lisa. And I don't know if you've read Courtland at all, but a lot of it is a pastiche of the political history of the Apple Computer Company. And so Steve Jobs is a supervillain in the world of Courtland and in Ideal Comics. And so he in the real world, they had the third gen Apple computer was called the Lisa, and it didn't sell well, and they had some weird bugs in it, and it was named after what's his name? Steve Jobs' actual daughter, Lisa. Right. But in the world of Courtland, the Lisa was a cyborg that was created by the Apple Core conspiracy, and was created as a surrogate daughter for Steve Jobs. But she's a rogue AI, and that doesn't really go well. And so she's Matt patterned her after. I don't know if you remember that Apple computer ad from like '86 when they first were getting ready to introduce the Macintosh, and they've got that chick in the workout gear with the sledgehammer.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right. So that's the supervillain Lisa in the world of Courtland.
So Steve Jobs, failed computer line, you know.
Yeah. Is comes back to be a crazed cyborg, and
be kind of funny if like who was didn't Henry Ford had a son named Etzel? Yeah, it'd be kind of funny.
Yeah,
there's a parallel there too.
Yeah, but so one of the things that Matt and I were talking about is ways that, you know, Chad, who of course his superpower is intuitive mechanical aptitude, right? He just knows about machines, and the more he knows about a machine, the more he understands it. It's just built into his body. So, like that, you know, one of his rogues gallery is this rogue cyborg, is hilarious to me. So,
very good. Sorry, Rico, nothing, bro.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's somewhere in the house. I don't know. I'm just kind of frustrated. I can't find it in the car. I just can't find it anywhere else. Just, you know, hopefully it turns up, because I'm planning on making a trip back. Not this weekend, but the weekend after. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I got a notification on my phone I need to check on, so I'm going to nope out for just a second, and I'll probably be here, but I won't be able to hear you at all.
Well,
okay. So, okay, we'll talk in a second.
Yep.
All right. He'll be back in a second, Barry.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Well, I'm sure he'll be back unless I kick him. Is that what you're insinuating, Rico? Is that what you want? Huh? Yeah, that's rude, Rico. That's
violence. Rude. Violence. I'm all about random violence.
Random violence. Well, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna say nay to random violence, but sometimes, you know, random violence just isn't the answer, Rico.
Sometimes you just gotta slap someone.
Indeed. So you've not been working on any pretty pictures at all recently? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I mean, I've been struggling to find the time. In other words, you know, just trying to juggle everything.
You know, I've been struggling to learn how to breathe also, so that's cool.
Yeah. But I mean, settling into the job, and that's, you know, very, 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 you know, encouraging. You know.
Oh yeah, no, shoot, wrong layer. Yeah, no, I'm glad that you're still into the job, and honestly, I mean, this might sound, God damn it, naive or whatever. But what is going on with my page? But you know, I mean, once you had that, and once you got down there, and once you got the job, I was pretty much like, yeah, you're golden. I just kind of had that feeling about it. So
About what? Oh,
about the job, about you being down there and everything. I figured it was a good situation. You had it, and you were good to go. And I was done worrying about you and that job. I was, yeah. I felt that you were good and going to get that and everything. So, yeah.
yeah. Well, I'll be. I will have time. I know that much. But it's like when you don't have a permanent place that's your own. It's really difficult to because I don't know if you guys know anything about like my drawing routine.
No.
It's like, well, when I'm at home, it's usually crank up the music, turn on the fan, sit at my drawing table, and just kind of jam out and just draw at the same time.
Ah, I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, if you notice, like the times where I've drawn in our Ideal Comics jams, it's always best if there's like a conversation going on at the same time. You know what I mean? I'm a multitasker.
You just kind of like the rhythm that gets you engaged, you mean?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Whether it's the rhythm of the conversation or rhythm of the music.
Rhythm of the night.
Rhythm of the night.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I can dig it.
We'll dance until the morning light.
Don't. You better stop. I'm gonna start breaking it down. Breaking it down.
Dance until the morning light.
Mm-hmm.
Someday, Barry.
Someday we'll be able to dance till the morning light, bro.
Someday, man.
Because of the rhythm of the night. But shit. Working.
Someday this will all be a parking lot.
What's that?
Someday this will all be a parking lot.
What's that from?
I don't know.
No. You're just hoping for industrial parking lots to take over randomly, huh?
Yeah, that's been my
Dream.
insidious goal. Since like the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Replace
as much of this area with industrial parking lots.
Yes, my fetish for parking lots is finally, taken. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm all about honeybees, right? Honeybees in cars.
Honeybees in cars.
Yeah, my dream. So you're either getting honey on demand, which everyone likes honey, or you're getting stung. So either way, it's going to be something good happening. Either good for the people watching the chaos ensue.
Yeah.
Or good for you getting your honey.
Well, as a bear,
Yeah.
As a bear. Hi, Sam. How you doing?
Is Sam watching us? I'm.
Yeah. As a bear, you can guess my fondness for honey.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess my fondness for wanting to break this painting here pretty soon.
Whoa. There's no need to get out of control here.
Well, I mean, honey, breaking, bears, stuff and stuff, bud, stuff and stuff.
I guess we can put it that way.
Yeah. A lot of reflections, and I'm not sure what's working. How's Sam doing? Sam, thanks for tuning in. Rico was telling us about his great idea to industrialize the world with random parking lots everywhere. That's his scheme. That's his goal. That's his dream. As I mean, everyone should have a good, strong dream like that, honestly.
Yes. And what was your dream again?
Honeybees in cars.
Ah. I sure do like honey.
Yeah, you either get stung or you get your honey. It's both negative and positive feedback. It's a balance of the best of both worlds, buddy.
Yes, it is.
I'm all about balance.
Well, you start bringing honey into the situation, and you've got this bear's attention.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, I like that.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. So you've been working on Nada then lately? Is that it? Is that what's going on? I can't inquire to what you've been working on. Nothing exciting or anything.
Well, I've been working on watching YouTube videos on better ways to run AutoCAD. For the time being, I guess they.
Oh, I mean, if we're gonna be responsible, that's it. That's
I guess they need me to jump in there pretty quick, but I'm pretty confident that we're about there. Of course, being up to speed is going to take a little while.
Right. But. That's cool, man. So, that's good. I'm gonna switch gears and say, so that game I've been working on, right? I'm not sure. I don't think would you have time at all in the upcoming future to devote any time to that? And I'm only talking maybe one night a week if you have it. I'm not sure what your schedule will be like for time as far as artistic endeavors go.
Well, right now, because right now I'm gonna have like a nice chunk of time, like if I'm not traveling to Scottsbluff.
Yeah.
Once I move into a place, I'll be able to devote a lot more time artistically. Cool. The weekends where I'm not going to Scottsbluff, I do have a nice surplus of time.
Right.
And like this time around, like I just went, visiting with some friends, went to the races,
I saw the races. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, That's cool. And then like Sunday was pretty much, just kind of like rest and recover and hang out and stuff. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, I think in the near future we could start, planning more pages and things like that.
Yeah.
Do
you have I know you've played games before. Do you have any background?
Oh, yeah. I love RPGs and like the kind of like RPG that you showed me. I mean, you showed me some screenshots and stuff, like that would be like right up my alley.
Okay, sweet. That's awesome because what I was gonna hit you up is the resources, like drawing the characters, like pixelized and pretty simply. It's actually but like it's just for us to put like I don't know if I'm working on just like a very very alpha setup right now that has just I'm just running it off of like all the resources that are in the game, right?
Right.
The program essentially. So, but if we're gonna draw our own stuff and start making this more with our art style.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, what's funny in that I didn't have time to learn it. A long time ago there was like this this PS1 game, that was like RPG Builder or something like that.
Yeah, that's what this is. But this is like RPG. It's like this is off of that because that was actually way off of PC back in the day. This is that program, but this is RPG Maker MV, so it's like 35 or some crap.
One thing you might want to look at in Patreon also. I don't know how deep you are, into like designing all this.
I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about, hey, this is what I'm doing.
There's like this guy that made like this this Nintendo editor,
right.
like Nintendo, like what I mean by like classic NES,
right?
And he has like a template for it, dedicated strictly to like RPGs.
Nice.
However, I don't think the graphics would, because I think like the graphics, if I remember correctly, it's more like along the lines of like a Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. These graphics are more PS1 era, maybe and maybe into that era kind of, and so, and also I was watching, I was trying to learn how to try to do as much as I can with it, and there was this dude that does have a how to on YouTube how to take a background for the game and make a painted one, so we can make it look watercolor and stuff like that, or whatever else. Kind of like Final Fantasy VII or those later.
Oh, okay. Really? That
you can that advanced. The sprites, our characters would still look like the characters, the sprite characters, but the backgrounds we can make RPG-ish, like watercolor-ish and painting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a little complicated. I haven't figured out how.
Okay, so I'm back.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa! I knew I should have kicked him when I had the chance.
Well, yeah, you still can.
Sam, Rico is over here writing love letters to his gal.
So, anyway, I had an idea about something we could talk about because I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. And if you wanted to, I could go through the list of teachers for Hero School that we have, and then go from there.
Yeah. Let's see here. I can't get into the doc. Well, can I get into the doc? Did you share that doc with the Ideal Comics? I don't think you did. Or an email.
With what now?
Oh, well,
I don't know if I did or not.
If I was gonna start making a list here, but
yeah.
Let's see this. Shut up. Anyway. So you said teachers. So we need teachers. We need. I mean, I don't have all the. And these are. What I want more or less, like we talked about the other night, is for these guys to be characters who have popped up in Ideal Comics at one point or another.
Right.
That is brings that enriches our environment and the depth of the story and the comics itself.
Well, I think too that if we have people that, like, as far as some of the NPC characters, if we have characters that haven't shown up yet but will, right?
Right. Yeah. There are definitely. I definitely want to take time to create some characters. Also, that's part of the fun.
Yeah. Something
I wanted to talk about, because I was actually talking about to Rico, because I want to list his help for character design and stuff. Also, is I wanted to hit you up, Reese. Is the villain Jack Halloween?
Jack Halloween. Yep.
AKA Jack Hallowan. I wanted to make him, as he gets more and more powerful as the story goes on, make him look more grotesque. So at first, when we first introduce him, like his character model is more of a quaint, not too quaint, but quaint enough looking principal type character, right? With whatever features we decide to illustrate him with. And then more and more as he goes on, he starts looking more larger and bulky and monstrous, kind of, in the little character pictures and stuff. What do you think about that effect?
I think it was good.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
So what kind of help are you looking for in terms of character design?
So have you ever popped open any RPG back in the day, like on a PC, and looked at assets or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Like a hex editor or something, or
yeah. Well, like you can go into them, like you can go into the file, right, and start looking at all the different data and images and stuff that they have. I don't know if I have any more of these things I can gift, because I already gift them away to people that don't want to use them. So I'm going to buy another one probably, and I'll send it to you. But I can also send this file to you, and you can check it out and look at it. But I'll share it on screen real quick here. And these are just images of caricatures. And it's your classic RPG looking caricature. Illustration. Where's my share button? There it is.
You can go in and kind of tweak the code and stuff like that.
You can. It gives you all the assets. It is a program that lets you design your own RPG. Mm-hmm. So you have all of the assets, and you can tweak them. And there's even editors out there that show you how to do this stuff. There's, and like in Photoshop, there's also settings, and in Clip Art Studio that I use, there's also settings where you illustrate a picture, and then you can mess with the. It's a view distortion essentially that makes it 8-bit or 16-bit, whatever.
Yeah, there is a set. I've seen that before. Heck, there's even a setting for that, like in Microsoft Word.
Yeah. I'll have to pull this up. I'll pull this up over in a program. So let me pull this up in a program here real quick. But copying. Dang it.
Meanwhile, is Reese still on the road?
I think so.
Yep. Yes, I am.
Woot. Where are you now?
Just actually pulling into town.
Oh, cool.
Well, you can make a good time. Well, I guess
Yeah.
the time is just going that fast, apparently. As it
So-
does.
Well, let me know when you're ready, and I'll start reciting, writing. What's the word I'm thinking of? Rattling off the names of education professionals.
Educational professionals. Cool, cool. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to show Rico this. These are just breakdown of characters essentially. I even made Rico. I even made my own mech. So like, it was a test. So like like in Final Fantasy, the old games, like you could get like boats or ships or airplanes, right? Well, I wanted to make a mech that they would get into and travel around the world, and it worked.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
So like, obviously there's like commands, like fight and like magic and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe I'll let me share the program. I'm not sure.
Are there any unique like commands?
There are a ton. There's stuff we can customize. It's awfully. I don't know how to code too much, so I'm kind of learning. I know very little code, but that's just the basic stuff that I've learned just over time. But here's a resource that I pulled from the game, just a picture of something that we can re-illustrate and then do again. But I'll show this to you. It's an example, right, of an illustration
that's cool.
of a blank background, right? And that's just a flatting with some one tone over each one is one shading over.
Yeah, basic shading.
Yeah. But that's the classic RPG look, and I've always loved that look, and that's kind of like what I've been going with lately with the comics, and so it's going to relate pretty well. So there's that, and So
that's
really
really
stuff, and I'll show you more stuff like drawing like little weapons. I haven't figured out how to put new weapons in. You can. I haven't gotten that far. I'm taking everything step by step, but you can.
Yeah.
I made a frying pan. So I have all the code for a frying pan and what it does. I have not drawn the frying pan pixels and figured out how to implement that into the game. That's coming up here pretty.
Because what I always loved about Final Fantasy is like all of like the unique little commands like like rage or
Oh yeah, that's
they have like attack, they have the magic for like rage and mimic.
There's like one like weapon running right now. Like I have so I'm using Demon Priest. I have like just mock-ups of Demon Priest, Boon, Tattoo, and Connoisseur. And so Demon Priest is using a holy fire or whatever, a demon fire, and I was using him to burn zombie cops I made, and that worked just fine. So and that's part of a magic command. There's a skill command. I'm gonna do different skills and assign different skills to like Boon's gonna have a super punch.
Be cool to have like a pasta command for like the pastinator.
That's like with like the Connoisseur, I'm gonna have like different weapons, culinary weapons essentially. And each class, it's cool. Each class, you can vary their skill learning and their skill, like how things grow. Like I made, let me see here. What have I done? What have I done?
Should have a command for breakdown called kaput.
So I made cook. I made a cook class for old Connoisseur. And his stats aren't like really, he's not like really physical or just, amazing or like that. So his stats kind of, they grow over time, but his skill sets lets him wield a lot of things. Like he can dual wield. So this badass can dual wield.
Sausage chains.
Yeah, exactly. That type of thing. So he's got like a lot of skill with his magic, that skill magic stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's what I've been working on. So anyway, all right.
Links of death.
Links of death, sausage of death. Who doesn't, who doesn't want to die that way, right? Right. All right. That's horrible. I'm sorry.
That was the worst.
You think of putting Diva Prince in there?
We've talked about that. Diva Prince is actually going to be like a mini boss, so I'm going to have to. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I want to make. I think we ought to make Diva Prince a mini boss. I love the idea that, like, regardless of whether you start in hero school or villain school, that Diva Prince like spots that the villain's a villain and is just like, hey,
teach me.
I think that guy can help me advance my career. I'm gonna.
Yeah, Diva Prince is just a scumbag that just wants to be, more of a scumbag.
Yeah, because it's not even. Because I mean, for the thing about it is, it's not even about like, oh, I'm going to serve the more powerful bad guy. It's more like, I think I could take over for him.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
That's a good racket. I'd like to learn how to pull this racket.
Right.
It's too much ego to think like, hey, I could follow this dude.
Yes. So, cool, Reese. So that's why I'm at Rico. That's just the basis of because I mean, there's literally thousands of resources I have to draw and then animate. And if we start building templates for each one, everything will look the same, and everyone will be on course for a game. If you're down to help out with that, that'd be awesome.
Well, it's like like maybe send me the file with the style.
Yep.
Of the headshot, for instance.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I'm gonna send you all these resources. I'll share them.
Make a pencil out a few of them.
Yeah. We need to make like I already have like docs for that I think are shared between me and Reese, but I'll make a file itself that I'll put all the docs and resources in and share between the three of us.
Yeah, just make a folder on Google Docs.
Yeah.
That'll be the.
Yeah. So how did
I think you should be able to share the whole folder and everything in the folder shared automatically, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. How did the postcard?
Let me share that real quick.
It turned out really good, but like a lot of people didn't take it, and so really? Yeah, we had a bunch of people. Like we had the 2 free postcards, so it was pretty common. We had somebody walk up and be just like, "So, is this stuff free?" And I would be like, "Well, coloring sheets are free, postcards are free, mini comics are $1, and the big comics are $4."
Right.
I'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. Well, would you like some of our free postcards? We've got our contact info, and here's a little mini comic in it and everything." Oh, I don't think so. Thanks, though. Dude, it's a free.
So did you guys?
Thing.
Did you guys print out this postcard?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There it is, Rico. I'm sharing it.
I love it.
Yeah, I changed your file in one bit. I added the URL to the Indiegogo on it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's perfect.
Now, the funny thing is the people that bought stuff like took the free stuff, and they were like, "Ooh, yeah, I'll look into you guys."
Right.
The people that didn't buy, well, actually, some people took it. I had one little kid whose mom was just like, "Here, take this little mini comic strip. It looks fun." And the kid's like, "Oh, I don't know, Mom." And she's like, "Take it." The kid's like, "Okay." And so he took it and he read it as he was walking away. And then he got 8 feet away, turned around, handed it back. I mean, put it back on the table, said thank you, and walked away again.
Oh, gee whiz.
He was like 7, whatever, but
right,
7 or 8. So I mean, it's fine, but it was one of those things where
yeah,
I just had to laugh, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's okay. Like, a lot of it is kids. If kids are in comics and stuff, they're into it for the big stars.
Yeah, sometimes, and especially kids, they want to see Spider-Man, Batman. I had one little kid, and this kid was probably 11. Man, he walked up to me, and he's like, "So, do you guys have any Spider-Man stuff or whatever?" And I said, "No, these are all original characters, and it's all in one world." And he's like, "Okay, I am intrigued by this. Tell me about your world."
Right, that happens too.
And I was just like, so I was talking about it. He's like, "Oh, that's really cool." I said, "That's really neat. I have a bunch of. I'm not really into the Marvel movies, but I've got a bunch of friends that are, and so they drugged me to watch Endgame, and I didn't really understand it, but they tried telling me all this stuff about it, and I'm not sure I could get into Marvel. But your stuff sounds interesting. where is it for sale? I don't have any money right now. I was like, you ever get to Scotts Bluff? He's like, we go every month. Where can I find your books? So I was like, I don't know if we'll sell them or not, but the kid talked to me for 20 minutes. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
He was like, you have aliens and werewolves? I'm intrigued.
Got it all, kind of. Yeah, I mean,
and talking animals,
monsters, talking animals, talking fish people, talking food, flying food.
Oh man,
sorry. Anyway,
no, it's fine.
Yeah. So there is that, yes, sir. But let's get back to Reese. If you're, I don't know where you're at, Reese, but
I just pulled into the Sears house, so. Okay. I am gonna actually. It took long enough that now I got to put the phone down because I got to pack all my stuff in. So, way to go, Mr. Timing.
Right.
Because I'm not just gonna sit in the car for the next hour.
Well, fine.
Yeah. So, I will probably hit you up when I get inside.
Okay.
So, hey man, we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Well, I'll hang up on you. Get out of here.
All right. Oh, I gotta show you something, Barry. I'll be right back.
Okay.
One of my prized acquisitions from California.
Nice.
Yeah, it's volume 3, but just reading through it, I'm just cracking up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's got to be some good laughs right there. That's good stuff.
Yeah. And then my cousin, my cousin is a huge comic collector, and he pulled out his box. His favorite dude is Deadpool, by far. And he showed me volume 1. When I started reading it, I was just like immediately hooked.
Yeah.
Because I think the first one in volume 1 was like his run-in with trying to capture and kill Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I pretty much laughed through the whole thing and how
is volume 2. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, just like how easily and often he pissed off Wolverine. Yeah. It was just
Yeah, he's. Oh yeah, that's why he's so fun to pair with Wolverine or Cable, because he's the opposite of them.
Mm-hmm.
He can hang with them for sure, but he's like the opposite, personality. He's got the straight guy and the crazy guy. So, is volume 2? Is the end of volume 2 where he gets with Cable, or is that like later on, like volume 4 and 5?
I think it might be volume 2. I'd have to look at it again.
Okay. Because there was a whole Deadpool and Cable series that ran for a while, and that was real popular.
Yeah, but the thing that really hit me is that in high school, my absolute favorite comic character was Wolverine.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Yeah. He was like my favorite, and then kind of seeing him interact with Deadpool just made me laugh.
I think it would have been. I think mine was between because like when I was really getting hardcore into the comics, was the height of Jim Lee and X-Men, right? So, and then Image. So probably like Wolverine and Cable were my favorites. Probably.
Yeah. It was just interesting. So that's kind of like me edging myself into the comic world. However, I'm finding more of an affinity towards Marvel
than DC.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Back in the day, like now I don't read much of Marvel because it's very different these days. But back in the day, I was always when I was like real young, I was all about Green Lantern and DC stuff more. And but yeah, since I think I've always been like more of a Marvel guy, X-Men guy. And I don't read like I want to go back and probably read like the old late, early 2000 stuff. There's a lot of old early 2000 stuff I'd like to pick up. So I haven't got a chance to look at for Marvel, but a lot of stuff that's DC has a lot of good old space opera stuff from back from the 70s and 80s that I want to pick up. and Green Lantern stuff for sure. But yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So when's Reese gonna be back?
I think about 10 minutes or so. What was up?
Oh no, just kind of curious. Yeah.
I'll send you those files here when I get a chance. I'm on the Ideal Comics, so I don't have access. I can send it to, but like the Ideal Comics doesn't have access to the files I've shared. So
Right.
file folder, and I'll share that with you, and you'll be able to look at the resources and stuff. It's pretty.
So which characters you like me to start with?
Whatever you want, really. I mean,
I guess which character is going to be in the game first? You know,
all of them.
all of them eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna make as many as we can because like the main cast, honestly. So did you ever play Suikoden?
Just play what?
Suikoden is an old PS1 game.
Uh-uh.
Okay. One of the biggest mechanics besides like the large scale battles that you would have, because it was very much like a Final Fantasy type game, right? You would walk around, you would go to different towns. When you got into battles, you had like your 6 characters, right?
Right.
But the one of the thing is you could recruit up to 108 characters.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and some of them you would not actually battle with you in the fight scenes or whatever else. They would add to your character base and help it grow. So you would recruit a cook, would give it you go and be able to buy and like get different ingredients and make stuff that would be power ups for your character and your party. You could recruit a blacksmith to make your weapons sharper and more powerful. You could recruit, all these different people that would like, help you build different things. And that's part of the mechanic of this game.
Are there like job points like in Final Fantasy Tactics or something?
Right, that's tactics, yeah, job points and stuff. And
Okay.
that's how you get different classes. And I haven't messed with that mechanic yet. There is a because being as it is a huge community that makes free add-ons all the time for it. And there is a add-on that lets you character create in game. And so that's what I'm going to try to use and figure out how to work into the game. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Yeah, with that, I mean, Final Fantasy Tactics was like my absolute favorite.
Yeah, that was a classic for me too. On the
That was a lot of fun, and like really deep,
Oh yeah, all of Final Fantasy lore. That's what's nice about this one. I actually, me and Reese were working on it. This is kind of like my baby, right? So I have last say on like just creative developments and storyline and so that. And so recently we were working on story and plot and all that stuff, and he gave me like a plot breakdown of Act 1 through 3, and then I added some different stuff because I was like, it's kind of bland. So I went back and added a lot more stuff just to get Act 1 through, from point A to point B, and
Right.
then to point A, which is an ending with. And I like where it was at a lot. I think you'll like that. I think it has that classic twist. Like you have essentially you create your character at the same time another character is created to mirror your character, and so you're kind of your buddy, and it can be a guy or a girl depending on your creation style. And at the end of Act 1, something happens, and I won't. This is live, I guess, so maybe I'll.
You're not going to divulge it, but
Yeah. And there's different mechanics, right? There's personal. I've made sure to find personal investment to each different characters and stuff like that. So there's mechanics with Boone and Tattoo where if you don't get certain things achieved at certain points, they will leave your party occasionally, which will hurt their XP income. So they will be staggered. But if you achieve certain things through their story or side quests, they'll be on your party like most of the time, or where you can recruit, from your castle, from your base, from your player base. The school is what it is, and so they will gain rate at their normal XP, rate, and they'll be powerhouses. Essentially, they'll be pretty badass characters.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun implementing that stuff.
I'm kind of curious as what a maxed out cooking level looks like.
What's that?
I'm kind of curious as to what a maxed out cooking level looks like.
Oh, there's actually that's part of that's gonna be fun by the time, because like that's what's fun about this is because it's pretty powerful. I mean, like you can pick up it's like so connoisseur, right? You're talking about connoisseur, right? Maxed up. So he's a telekinesis
with food.
With food only, and food utensils and stuff. So I mean, how Magneto makes armor of around his body and stuff like that, the way the connoisseur can kind of do the same thing. And in the story, get the band back together. It's connoisseur's story more or less when I started concepting it. It's because I like connoisseur so much. He's such a fun whatever character. So it starts with connoisseur and his restaurant getting blown up, and he saves people by encasing everyone in culinary and food and stuff like that. His restaurant gets taken out, so he saves everyone by making a dome inside the restaurant with plates and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's pretty powerful guy essentially when it gets down to it.
So the game mechanic, do you think it's going to work like progressive, like power of certain abilities, or like for instance, like kind of like a spell sort of situation to where if the connoisseur wanted to blind somebody, for instance, he could cast like a lasagna spell and it'll flap a piece of lasagna over his eyes.
Yes. So there are animations, and you can even make your own animations and put them into the game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a little more detailed. I'm still learning that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's there. The weapons that I want, we can draw the pixels, we can draw and put them on them. I want to do that. Like he has like you said, like a lasagna. And I want his stuff not to be magic, but skill based, essentially.
Right.
So there's things that are called magic and then skills, and I want his stuff to kind of so like if you buy stuff like the ingredients to make lasagna, and then like connoisseur can attack with lasagna everywhere, and and it's an area attack, and it's random between who gets hit, how much, and then maybe a blinding attack, or maybe it's like a debuffer where it makes the enemy slower.
Right.
So yeah, same thing.
So like you can use like a molasses or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like a molasses effect, and it'll slow them down.
Yep. Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's in the animations I'm looking forward to are going to be fun. There are resources in the game, like I said already. What I want to do is just between me and you, and maybe if Tully wants to help us out also, we want to recruit. But get a template working, and then build up all the other characters that we're designing off that same template, that same style. And I think we can all there's relative within anything there's relative freedom to design the character, of course. But we just need to look uniform between how it looks is between the flatting and the shading. If you want to draw an evil dude that looks like a tomato with horns and flowing blonde hair, cool. As long as it looks like the rest of them look, essentially.
Yeah, that's neat. Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that you showed me, the stuff that you showed me so far was really cool.
Yeah, and I ran a battle there, and I learned how to. So I'm on my thing. I don't know if I can share that. Let me see if I can actually share the program. No, I can. Okay, well, people are going to get a sneak peek here.
That's cool.
So this is kind of roughly the United States, right?
Uh-huh.
And let's go into a playable model. This is all just placeholder, of course, for the time being.
Right.
Whoa. I had one loud ass intro song.
Can you edit the music?
Yeah, did you hear the music?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's Demon Priest, Tattoo, Boone, and Connoisseur. Whoops. This is one of the towns.
Let's see. All I'm seeing is like the main map.
This is just them attacking with their bare fists because they don't have anything. The connoisseur will attack with a sword, but it's actually a frying pan. Haven't filled out the.
Oh, I don't see anything.
No, I can't hear you too much right now. I had to turn everything down. Give me a second. And that was just me. I want to set up an instance. they dropped football helmets. So yeah, I just wanted to set that stuff up and see what this do.
The only thing I see is is like the main map.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Well, let me. Dang it!
Are you having a refreshing problem?
No, I think that's probably where it's set up. Unless I launch the actual game from the game itself. Huh. That sucks. I don't know if I can figure out how to do that or not. So it was just showing you the map. I wasn't showing me fighting anything or anything.
No, it just showed me just that plain map that we saw earlier.
No, that's You know, it's funny. I've been so invested in messing around with just that. I don't know if I've ever launched it from just the application itself of the game.
Oh.
Well, let me text Reese and see if he's ready. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts or any ideas or any input you want to put with that? Since I'm all about the game talk right now.
I just like the way you're putting the whole interface together. You know, I think that's pretty cool.
Oh.
You ever think about
mechanics? Are there any mechanics? Because like I like the idea of like lasagna. Like see, you're already flowing with that. Are there any mechanics that you can see, like for like just like not just battle mechanics, but game mechanics we want to implement maybe the storyline also? Like I know like you like the part. Like what did you like about tactics? What drew you to tactics the most? So I like the job changing ability.
Yeah, that was for me. That was the funnest part of the game. You know, the story was intriguing. You know, I like the story, but in the end, most people don't remember the story. They remember, you know,
Well, the story was deep, and that's why I want more. Like honestly,
the story that I loved more was for Super Nintendo they called it Final Fantasy 3.
Right. It was actually 6.
It was actually 6. You know, for me, that was the best story I'd ever seen in any RPG.
That's what I hear a lot.
You know, I don't know if you'd played it.
You know, I have a friend that bought that for me. I haven't like the classic CD.
Yeah. there is something, dude. There is something about that game that is just so.
Is it because the villain, like, cause a lot of it, like you know, you have to have a villain that you love and you hate, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm working on right now, developing that villain, because part of the villain, and I think the hook that I have, at least for the first act, the hook that I have is good. It's good for that to develop the villain. And it's good.
The villain. Well, you know what's so beautiful about that game was that not only the game mechanics were really smooth, they're really clever, they're really unique. You know, a lot of the commands are like original and specific to character itself.
So since I didn't play 6, are you talking about tactics or 3/6?
6.
Okay. Yeah. So and that's the one with Kafka, right? The crazy clown boss with the moon. Okay, yeah. So I have a classic. It's like a classic set of discs that my buddy bought for me a few years back, and I need to play through them.
You really should actually. You know, since the whole look and feel, of this game so far reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy 6. You know, and what's so cool about that is like everything from like even the music. Right. The music was just incredible and memorable. As well as the story. Just I'd probably played it all the way through, like maybe 5 times.
Nice. That's like me and Suikoden. Now, once you look up Suicode, and like look up like the old on YouTube, just look up Suicode and like a playthrough. Just don't watch all of this, but check it out. Because same.
How do you spell that?
It's SU. Let me think here. I have to type it out. Suikoden. So it's SUIKODEN.
Okay, because I've seen that.
Yeah.
Advertised. I just never actually rented it or played it or anything like that.
Number one to me is more sentimental, but number one, number two almost interchangeable. For a lot of people like number two the most. Like I said, the number two is actually consistently in top 5, I think, of RPGs of all time when they do stuff, or top 10. Mm-hmm. It's because it just adds to number one, right? It just makes it richer, and the storyline is a little deeper. You got a little bit deeper between the characters, and a lot of the characters, and there's a character concept I'm actually kind of stealing from that.
Right. You know what? Go ahead.
Well, you were saying. So what about the villain, the setting? So what about were you saying the mechanics also of 6?
Yeah, the mechanics of 6 were really cool. Like they have like really like unique commands for like different individual characters, because like there's maybe like I want to say like 14 unique characters, and I think all of which you can, unless there's like key moments in like the story, you can pretty much customize your parties,
right?
And what was also really cool is that they had like magic as like the major theme of, it's like a rediscovery of magic in the world, and so there's like this these stones called magicite that enabled all the characters to learn magic, and so when you find these different pieces of magicite, you can learn brand new spells, some powerful and some allowed you to learn certain spells more quickly. There's just like the customization on it was just really. I'd never seen anything like it at this time.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. And then like take for instance, there was a character named Gao who was like a wild boy that they found in like this big vast wilderness called the Veldt, and what Gao did is that every monster that you fight, you can opt to have Gao like tackle that animal, and then they tumble off the screen, and then you don't see Gao again for a while. So you have to have a couple of fights without Gao before you see him again.
That's
when
awesome.
he comes back, he learns the attacks of the animal that he just tackled.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. So like his list of commands are like all the different animals you encounter.
That is sweet. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That's because I'm already I've already having planned like multiple different characters that are hidden characters, right? And side quests that are hidden side quests, and things that will take you back, like will warp you back in time to a certain time of different classic characters where you can fight with them and stuff, or with them in your battle, and that's awesome. That whole, that's something else I'm working on also, because each character. So I have Boone. Boone's the strong guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you holding your laptop or your mic? Because like there's a lot of like scratchy sound going on.
Yeah, it's kind of like bumping up against the, like there's like a very very tiny table that I'm
okay. That's where it was. Okay, now it's stopped. All right, cool.
Or, you know what kind of reminds me of like for like Boone. There's this character in Final Fantasy VI called Umaro.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Yeti. He's like this big gigantic Yeti.
Yeah.
But like one of his abilities is that he can grab one of the other party members, throw it at the enemy, and then the party member will get like an extra little attack. I've seen that. And then he'll bounce back into then the party member will bounce back into place after he's done with his attack.
I wonder if there's someone who's made a plugin for that I can use. So there's tons of different battle plugins.
Yeah, and then there's like I think Umaro can also go into rage. to where like when he's pissed, he doesn't.
That's something I'm working with Tattoo on doing. Like Tattoo's more like the enraged dude, right? He's like more
like
the Wolverine.
When he raises his defense goes down, but his attack goes way up.
Mm-hmm. Right, like your barbarian type guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's like the Moogles. There's one Moogle.
Are they magicless people?
No. They're like.
I know the Moogle is. I know.
Yeah. Well, there's like one that can actually join your party.
Oh, cool. That's always almost all the Final Fantasies back in the day had that, right?
Yeah. As far as and Chocobos are also the
right.
Like the standard.
We should establish something like that in our universe, maybe like something kind of akin to Chocobos.
Yeah, that's the kind of cool thing about like the Final Fantasy, universe is that there's little things like Moogles and Chocobos that you're not going to see.
Yeah, but that's what's so endearing. It has its own unique style and stuff, and like all these different characters that are just so endearing. And that's what I'm trying. Like ours is very very realistic. We're using the Ideal Comics universe, which is very very set in real life, but also we got aliens and shit like that. So we should be able to. That'd be fun. Maybe there's something we can find, or like Chocobos, but different.
Yeah.
Man, that's classic. Chocobos are so classic.
Oh, I know. And you can ride them.
They're a giant bird that you ride. They're essentially an ostrich, but
Yeah. So it's big. It's yellow, and in Final Fantasy Tactics, it has like healing abilities.
Yeah.
I don't know if it does in
Well, like in Final Fantasy VII, like different ones have different abilities. Like you can breed a chocobo. The chocobos, there's a whole mini game. And you get a black one, which was very flipping hard to get.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think it was faster and do some other stuff also.
It's faster. It had like a magic attack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was the same with Tactics too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really hard to catch a black one.
Yeah.
I think there was like red ones too.
Yeah, there were red ones. I think there was red, blue, green, and black besides the yellow.
Yeah. Yellow ones are easy. The yellow ones.
Yeah. Yeah, the yellows are classic. Yeah. Oh man, these mechanics. This is good. This is what we need to implement.
Mm-hmm.
And figure out how to fucking. What would we do though? A flying whale? No.
A flying whale. No, there's something out there. Maybe we have to,
Maybe. I mean.
What I like to see happen, is I don't know what you had intended for a story,
We have the story. We have AB. We have ABC, right? So we have, but they're not. A is pretty well. I have A getting from the mechanics that make A go from beginning to end. And I like that very much. But everything is very much, we can add a lot, we can take some also. So what were you going to say?
Oh, I don't know. I just kind of like, I like the notion of like a, because like the United States is a huge place,
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It's like, what do you think about like narrowing the scope to like an adventure that happens around, in from like Fremont City to to rural Wisconsin, or wherever,
Well, right now it's gonna be global.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna like in future stories that we're working on, we have like walruses and dragons that are in the South Pole.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. and so. Yeah, like you might be able to get a king walrus or a night walrus in your party, or a dragon maybe.
Maybe we'll need to, I was like thinking, like they would need to like introduce some like Wild Nebraska lore,
Oh God, yeah. I mean, any of it,
or Great Plains lore. Like for instance, how like Final Fantasy has chocobos.
Mm-hmm.
What if the ideal world has jackalopes?
I was gonna say rabbits or jack. Ooh, I like it.
Like, the ideal comic where jackalopes are real.
Yeah.
Elusive, but real.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Holy shit, Boone's riding the king of the jackalopes.
Because you know Boone's gonna bring up a jackalope. You know?
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's good, man. I like that. See, that's what we need. We need something like that.
We need something. Yeah, we need a jackalope.
Because like I already have like part of Boone's side quest mapped out, and it has to do with it has to do with old Conestoga Sue. And if you finish his story, she'll give you also like bonus, like a hat for Boone that gives like extra bonus. I can't remember what I had designed for it, but just extra battle mechanics. I have Tattoo's side quest mechanic worked out as to how he leaves and comes back. If you don't get his side quest completed. But I can't remember I don't know if I have a storyline mapped out for that. And most of the main cast is actually going to have these side quests. And if not all of them are going to have the same repercussions if you don't finish them. Like Boone and Tattoo especially have them because they're kind of powerhouses.
Mm-hmm.
But the other ones are going to have their own side quests. They're not going to be as severe if you don't finish them, but they'll be there.
Right.
Because I remember like on Suikoden, like you said it was 6. You played that over and over again or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, dude. Like I mastered the shit out of Suikoden. Like I crushed that game so thoroughly, and I recruited every character so thoroughly. And that's what I want. But I wanted more. So I'm gonna have like even like the little towns. Like I remember walking in like a little town, and there was like this empty space, right? I'm like, well, what the hell? Obviously they probably wanted something to be there, but they just didn't have time or whatever or space. So that stuff I want to put. I want to tons of little tiny details.
Yeah, and that's just a huge. Because people will only play RPGs that are like similar to each other so much. They'll get to the point where they're kind of bored.
Yeah,
they want something.
Yeah, they want the unknown. Yeah, for sure. That story.
Yeah. And what I've noticed is like a really huge selling point for people playing RPGs. They want something that that they played a game way differently than another person played the game.
Right.
And like their version of the same character can even be like vastly more or less powerful, than like another person's version.
Right. No, and then that's just it. Like you immerse yourself in the stories. I mean, that's what's so great about RPGs, or video games in general. But they're a movie or a book you're playing. Yeah. You are playing through. It's already written. So a lot of it I've noticed with RPGs that I really I appreciate versus RPGs that are beautiful. So Final Fantasy 15 came out a couple years back, and I never finished it. I just didn't. It didn't interest me. Like it's beautiful and it has some pretty cool characters and it has like this cool stuff and but it's gorgeous. But it just did not enthrall me, like some other games have. In games like lesser, technically lesser graphic.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I know that we're always kind of pressed for time in our adult lives, but if you ever do get a chance to play Final Fantasy 6, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, I need to pop in. I still have a PlayStation 3 over there, and I'm pretty sure what I can play. And hell, I can always just download it too.
Because you can tell. I mean, you can really tell like the massive planning that went behind that game.
Yeah,
like they really planned out like an epic story.
Mm-hmm.
And like had like a major, like a major mechanic in the game, which was magic. They did it in the right way. They just made it really fun.
Right. I think, and that's something else I was going to talk to you about, because you were talking about how like 14 characters are kind of like their main characters, but they didn't have classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like tactics, you have classes you can change in or out of, and I was always thinking with this game, I know that with I wanted you to be able to design your own. You're going to design your own character at the beginning.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure if I want to be able to switch in and out of different classes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
right.
Like tactics.
Well,
I think like I don't know. I think to me like that becomes so, it's so enriched. It's so fun just to do that it almost overwhelms you at time. Also, it makes you complacent. I'm not sure, but it was because that was one of the coolest parts. Like for me was, making these different characters, this way or that way.
Right. So it's like, another, another possibility is like you can have your character like learn a completely different job, but it becomes vulnerable because he's not as, he's not as experienced in that job, so
right.
So like his hit points are stripped down to the bare hit points, his skill points, whatever you want to call them, get stripped down to the bare bones, and it could be like a mismatch.
I just thought of. So there are collectible, there's a collectible card game plugin that someone made, just someone making a resource, right? And I was going to take that and overwrite it, and illustrate it with our illustrations for the comics, and put that in there so you can collect the Ideal Comics and also maybe if you were down, also the warehouse comics. And that gives you different things. You can read them and stuff like that and give different bonuses. But also maybe, how about this? If you collect a comic, say you're reading a Boom comic, and we make that as an armor or additional part of your set, your kit.
Right.
And that gives you that class, and it gives you the skills and also a Boom.
There you go. So you can be Boone.
Yeah.
But you're not
Boone.
You're not like level 30, Boone,
right?
Or whatever,
Yeah.
Like maybe the characters start out at a certain level in their specialty.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of work, you can.
I was thinking maybe it resets you. Maybe if we have like a bronze through gold edition of comics, and so maybe if you find edition, maybe you have a platinum or gold 1 edition of Boone, maybe it starts you out at level 10. So maybe maybe a bronze is level 1, silver is level 2, and then platinum or gold is level 10 maybe. And that way you get different, and maybe each one has a different special skill. Like one is you get more heals off of potions. Silver you get more quicker XP gain for a certain skill, and then something special for platinum or something.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that idea.
Write that down. Where's Reset right now?
I don't know. You said 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's been 40. Let me text him, see what's up. Or how about you text him? I'm typing.
Okay. I asked if he was on his way.
What's that?
I was hoping he'd be here a little sooner because it's 10 o'clock over here.
I was gonna say, yeah. What time do you work? That's what I was thinking.
I have to get out there at 5.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
I was gonna end it right now. I thought he'd be back by now because he was like, "Oh, I'm home." That was an hour ago.
Well, maybe you guys could start it up on Patreon or something.
Yeah.
But
if you need to head out, you give me good content here. You did a good job.
Well, thank you. Well, it's just cool talking about this stuff, and I love working on that project.
It's nothing that I think after, honestly, the way I've scheduled my schedule. Of course, my schedule is always a mess, but I'm doing. I don't know. I'm really I enjoy devoting a lot of time to this. So if I can put them on my Patreon and maybe our Patreon, then see people get behind it and back me for it. I'll be doing a lot of different illustrations for it. I still have the.
Well, maybe that's, Reese, and I talked about this a while ago. Maybe that could end up being the focus of your Patreon. Because you talk about a lot of your artwork is for Ideal Comics, and it's really hard for people to buy in. Well, maybe this is your individualized project,
right? Yeah.
That you can tell them, hey, I'm working on this game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking myself, honestly. Yeah.
So actually, yeah, that'd be really cool.
No.
Because there's people out there that are making money on Patreon by, featuring video games and stuff like that.
Yeah, all their own projects and stuff for sure.
Yeah.
And what's I want to make it. I want to do that watercolor background kind of, and like Final Fantasy VII. And I think that'll be fun once I learn how to do it. But that would be fun, like making those backgrounds, making the interiors of houses. Because to me, like that was one of the biggest things I found. It was so beautiful. Like it was just that was the second RPG I ever played because I was into sports and beat 'em ups before that. Before I found Suikoden by accident. And yeah.
You know what? Because I played a lot of RPGs. RPGs were just
that was the beginning. It was
for me. It started with I played Ultima. Might have been one of the first RPGs I played. It was for like Nintendo. It was called Ultima Exodus. And I was just so fascinated by it. I just thought it was like a really cool game. Really cool
that's awesome, man. Yeah.
But you know what was like really fun? One of my favorites, along with that whole Final Fantasy franchise. You ever played Super Mario RPG?
The RPG Maker or Super Mario RPG? Because I never got a chance to. That was like the Super Nintendo. At that point, I had Genesis, and then I had a PlayStation, and then like the last Nintendo I had was before like. I've had girlfriends that had like Switches and stuff, but I had 64. And the 64 had shit for RPGs on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. 64 didn't really have much.
It had GoldenEye, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think Matt's joined us. You there, Matt?
Well, good timing, Reese, because I think I'm gonna sign out, fellas.
We're gonna head out.
Well, we talked about
fine. Dude,
huh?
I just had a desk almost fall on me, so that's what I've been doing.
Did you survive? So in this Reese versus a desk, did Reese win?
Oh yes, Reese did win.
I'm good.
They just I don't know when it happened, but somehow along the road, Sierra's house picked up one of those standing desks, the walking station things, right?
Okay.
And they set it up right next to the fridge. I come back from Sydney with leftovers from our advisory meeting, sodas and pizza and stuff. I got someplace I gotta put it, And the only place I can put it, I have to move this desk to get to, right? But it's like not a normal desk, and I pull it over to get into the fridge, and it starts to fall down on me. So I spend 12 minutes putting it back together.
Desk issues.
Oh my God.
Reese, the desk wrangler.
Tell you what.
Hey, all right, Rico, before you leave,
Reese,
since you're joining, me and Rico were coming up with we actually brainstormed some really ideas presented by Rico that I really love. We were talking about the old classic RPGs.
Okay.
Talking about his love for Final Fantasy games.
Oh yeah.
And they have this mechanic that a vehicle mechanic, right? A transportation mechanic of chocobos. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those at all. And Rico thought of, because I want us to have our own unique transportation thing. I already made a giant mech for us, but that was just kind of for fun. What would you think about jackalopes? Having maybe just for regional different areas, maybe different regions have different whatever. But for the Midwest, for the Nebraska area, jackalopes are real, and Boone rides on one too.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I'd already planned on that. I've got I don't know if I'm going to do it or if I'm going to have my kid do it, but I've got an idea for a quick little Boone strip.
Oh, really?
And it starts with a horizon, and then there's a rabbit sticks his head up over the horizon. Next panel is then 2 rabbits, and then a whole row of rabbits, and then the next panel, all of these rabbits jumping over the horizon line, and then finally, amidst this sea of rabbits and smaller jackalopes, is Boone riding a giant jackalope. And that's the last.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I've had it in my head for months.
Well, that solves that, Barry. So we know jackalopes are real in the ideal cone.
Yeah, they are.
Right on.
Both small ones and big ones.
There we go.
Well, fellas, it was great seeing you again. Great
Yeah,
talking to you again. You know, bear with me. Be patient with me. I'm getting all my ducks in a row over here.
No, and enjoy it. No pressure. We're looking forward to you being able to devote more time to it, and enjoy your new job, man. It's really good. It's good stuff. It's real good.
So it's long overdue, man.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Long overdue.
Yeah.
But have a good night, guys. God bless.
Have a good one, man.
Have a good night. Get some rest, buddy.
All right. Later, man.
Later. Cool. Is your video working, Reese? How I see
Yeah, my office is a mess.
I gotcha. Yeah. You get green screen
Set
for
up-
your
We have a couple empty offices here
yeah.
set up in one of our empty offices.
Okay.
I didn't feel like that today.
Right. Now I'm with you, man.
I'm getting ready. I'm going to go ahead quick so we get this over with. And do you have a doc already loaded up for the?
I have a notepad which I'm going to write on. I'm going to upload that onto a doc because I can't get to the doc because this is
Well, that's fine. I will just go ahead here and I'm actually going to start something.
Yeah, if you're in there, yeah, you upload it. I'm going to grab some coffee.
So I'm going to start a separate document.
Okay.
We'll have. It'll be.
You have access to it because you're online. You have access to that. I've shared it with you, haven't I?
Yeah. But I mean, like, at the risk of it being, I mean, we can go ahead and save it to the folder or whatever. But at the risk of being too much on that one page.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no, that's smart. I'm sorry.
So that was my thought.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm also going to see if I can't set it up like a table.
Also, Reese, me and Rico were talking because we were talking about when you play through RPGs, there's either like classes that your character is, right, you choose, or the different job types or classes you can change to, right? Multiple RPGs that implement these things.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So we were thinking. So I already have that comic mechanic in the where you can find comics, and we're not sure which way to take it. Like if that gives you bonuses or whatever. But how about this? You find a boon, and like maybe there's like different levels, like maybe a bronze edition boon or a silver or platinum or gold, whatever. So you find a boon comic, and you can essentially take on the boon class, where you have different boon abilities and stuff.
I don't think there would be a boon comic in universe.
That's true.
Because they're too early. But as we're looking at incorporating,
well, maybe like ideal comic maybe that has, well.
As we're looking at incorporating Golden Age characters and other ages and flashbacks and stuff, it would be fun to have because you could have a Vickers.
Yeah, you get a Vickers for sure. Yeah, a Vickers class.
Or whatever, and then it can be like a plus to your, or like if you found an issue of the Gamesman.
Right. Yeah, like archery skills and stuff.
Plus 2 to your ranged attacks or whatever.
Right. Because we were looking for ways to maybe implement changing up changing up like your class abilities and stuff, like making you a different class, essentially a unique way of doing that.
Well, what if we have that in the curriculum aspect? There's actually mini missions you can do to change that up. Like different teachers have different.
Well, is this a game about comics or a game about school?
It's a game about school. That is about a comic about school.
Hmm.
Because if it's a game about comics, then our comic is probably not the best comic to base it on. You want something like that doesn't have that school element, I would think.
Yeah, but our comic also, we have a bunch of other different characters too.
Yeah.
It's our whole universe.
Right.
I think the curriculum, maybe you can gain different skills from the curriculum, or maybe enhance your skills through the curriculum like that you already have.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the idea of finding different comics, like you said, maybe of Vickers or Gainesman or all these people from the classics.
Well, and I don't mind. I think the one aspect too is, I mean, if you're looking at being able to study, so to speak, quote unquote the comics you're picking up or whatever, and maybe you dual class that way. So you find a comic, but it doesn't count toward your class skills or your class until you quote unquote study that comic or read that comic, and then that actually allows you to cross class or dual class or something like that.
Maybe it was different. Like maybe like you find like maybe like the rarer comics give you better, like a Vickers 1 or something like that. Or
yeah, that sounds fun.
I want to kind of base it. So maybe we could base it on the characters and like play it off as not put their name on it, but like maybe edition 1 of Adventures on the Prairie, and it has a picture of Boone on it. You know what I mean? And not say it's Boone's comic, but just play it that way. Because people know they're playing a game, right? The only people that don't know they're playing a game is essentially the game character.
Right.
So it'd be kind of like a little wink wink at the same time as not exactly being Boone's comic, but it's kind of Boone's comic. Or like maybe tattoo or like expositioner.
That would actually make sense for X to have had comics in his old costume.
Right.
From before. That would be a good PR thing.
For sure.
And so if we're going to have some of our player characters, I think that would make sense. Just the kids are going to be unknowns. There's really, I can't think of, I don't know that I want something war breaking, even as a silliness. I don't know. Think about it. Because I don't think it's necessary. I don't know that it's that interesting or funny a gag.
Well, it's more of a mechanic to have like different class abilities and skills based on the characters that you.
Yeah, there are other characters that have similar power sets to the kids.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, because like Chad's Tinker, but so is his grandfather, so is his mother, so are other people. So, and I mean, like if your player character, I mean, like that's an actually really interesting one too, because if your player character like uses the Golden Age Tinker comic and gains Tinker abilities, that's fun.
Yeah.
Turns around and gives it to Chad, that can have an even greater effect because it's his grandfather.
Maybe it's like a team up thing, like a team up in the battles.
Yeah.
They could have a team up attack.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, that was the thing. Like, I'm thinking like if you give Chad his mom's comic, then man, he's got an attachment to it, so it's even more effective.
Yeah, maybe like a double or XP or something like that.
Then your players can decide, okay, well, I'm I'm going to save this for later. And the one thing I'd like to do with it is like, so Fallout uses a similar mechanic where you have comics and magazines have an in-game action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fallout 3 in Vegas, the action's temporary, whereas in Fallout 4, it's permanent, right? I think it would make more sense to be a permanent bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, the temporary bonuses are kind of weak, unless this is a real OP one, then you don't want to have it forever.
Yeah, or for potions or something that makes sense to wear off, right?
Right.
Don't consume a comic when you've read it.
Well, if you find like I don't know if we have any more chefs or like that, maybe like we can put like chefs quarterly or something like that, maybe in the game, and then Boom can learn more skills, or your character can learn more skills that you and Boom can team up to make new, powerful pastas, or recipes and stuff.
Right. Actually, that's a really funny idea because if we do a mechanic where people can gain health from finding food.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Okay. Well, then if Boone gets a hold of the cookbooks, then things that aren't food can be food because he's a redneck, right? So like possum stew.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna think about doing, because one of the fun like little mini games I was gonna do was like have your character have to like get through home ec, right? And so if you have like a connoisseur in your party, that's cool. But then like some supervillain also was going up against you in this contest, and so if like Boone is one of the judges and like one of the meals, or maybe you don't have like all the ingredients, but you have like a dead animal or something, or a deer or some shit, or a possum,
right?
And Boone's like one of your judges, and you make like spicy possum stew. Boone's like gonna give you a high score that might save your grade on that little mini game competition thing.
Right. I love that.
Yeah, fun.
Now on this document, actually, I'm going to screen share this quick. Do you want me to include like bios, the ones we have ready for them?
Sorry, what was that?
So do you see my screen there?
I see your screen, but it's not. There it is.
Okay,
yeah.
There we go. Okay. So, do you want me to include bios on this thing that's for the characters that we have them for? Like some of them I have pre-written.
Yeah,
bios.
I mean, if you have like just like a sentence or two.
Okay. So, I will go ahead and put that here under this column.
Okay. And if you if you really want to make sure a certain character looks a certain way, put that on there. The rest of the time, I think it's always be nice to let the artist kind of like have their way with designs, especially if it's somebody that hasn't been shown before, right?
Right. Yeah, for characters we haven't seen before, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to go through and look up all the characters tonight.
No, yeah, I know. I got you.
I'll probably just go ahead and throw them out there quick.
Okay.
Trying to remember all the different.
Okay. Let's see. Are you breaking these down by villain and hero teachers, or just kind of lump them all together? Okay.
Yep, hero and villain teachers. These are all in hero school.
Okay.
That's school, the superheroics.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all part of the plan.
Yeah, I was making sure. I'm sure if metal anybody tuned in tonight, I haven't been watching chat at all.
Well, goodness sakes.
I
haven't either.
I know. It's kind of irresponsible of me.
For shame.
It is. Apparently, I'm not supposed to look at your comics. Okay, Scott was on 2 hours ago almost, and Brandon McGowan says so. Not sure, Brandon.
Oh, man. Oh, sorry we have not been talking to you guys. It's Barry's fault.
Yeah, sorry guys, I wasn't watching chat and Reese was driving. Scott says, shame on us we started streaming in the middle of house reruns, so I feel a little guilty for that myself. Okay. Are there any other fun game mechanics you might want in the game? Because I was thinking about like the jackalopes would be great. Do you want that game wide, or do you want like a different like mechanic or a little animal for each region?
I think a different animal for each region, but I don't see why we couldn't cross them over if you match class wise. Like everybody can ride jackalopes out west, but only Boone can ride them in the city, kind of a thing. Or like ranger characters.
Or maybe it's like a class you can acquire by getting a Boone comic or something.
Yeah. Or even like an El Hidalgo comic. I mean, he's not necessarily
Oh God, yes.
But he has ties to the Old West, so I don't know, maybe not.
What could you ride? See, here's the thing. I want. Should we think of like maybe making something like our own? Like, should we concept our own? Not just jackalopes, but like maybe our own thing. I mean, I know it's very Midwest and very Boone, But here's the thing, like Final Fantasy, they have like they have their Chocobos. That was never around until Final Fantasy made it their own thing, right?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Well, essentially, that it's their own thing, right? That's the point.
It's like a critter to ride kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's essentially a giant ostrich, big bird looking ostrich that you can ride.
Like in Joust.
Yeah, but not as cool because you don't get to joust. There are many games you can do with them though. You can race Chocobos. Hmm.
I feel like I'm forgetting someone.
Do you have your teacher for Defense Against the Dark Arts?
Black Magus. Oh no, I don't have I don't have anybody in Defense Against the Dark Arts. Oh.
They just get replaced after a year anyway.
I know. Remember here.
We need to concept some new ones too. Substitute teachers. Right now, I'm watching you scroll through Twitter.
Oops. There we go. Nope.
Oh, this is so good.
Okay, that one.
Which one?
I'm looking for a document quick.
Gotcha.
I want to drop, make sure I double check the villain teachers from another document and from this school. And then I'm going to take off.
Yeah.
I've got the other schools that I want to add to that, but not tonight.
Yeah, right. I'm with you, man.
So, oh, come on. Here. And some of them haven't been fleshed out yet either.
That's okay. I mean, sometimes when we do need, teachers and characters that aren't fleshed out.
Yeah.
We're gonna need like a roll call mechanic for that.
Sorry, what now?
Well, like So so you can track who you're recruiting and how many people you have. We need like a roll call mechanic or like a list of or something like that breaks down the bios of all the characters. Yeah. Like the dossier of all the staff and all the characters and all that stuff. That way the player knows that they're missing some secret characters or something. Well, I think I'm going to sign off, Reese.
Okay. I will share this to everyone.
Yep. Just share it when you're ready, bud. And I'm going to get onto my stuff so I can share that the file with Ideal Comics and Rico. And I think we'd be good. So if anyone watches this in the future, thank you very much. If you have any input onto what you think we could do, what we're doing in our projects, feel free to share them with us, guys. We appreciate everything you can do and say. And if you share or like or anything like that, it's not necessary. In fact, don't do it. I'm just kidding. But we're not going to ask you to because, hey, we just want you to talk about nerd stuff with us and hang out with us. And until next time, thank you for joining me, Reese.
Yep.
And have a good night, bud.
Yeah.